What if the real reason so many people fade after 60 is not old age at all, but five quiet habits that look normal, feel harmless, and slowly turn the body against itself? Welcome to Dr. Daniel Podcast. I am Dr. James, and today I want to welcome Dr. Daniel Lieberman into this conversation. Doctor, I think this topic touches a deep fear in people because so many sons, daughters, husbands, wives, and friends have watched someone they love grow smaller after 60 and thought, this is just what happens. But is it?
Thank you, James. Some change with age is natural. We all age. But what most people do not realize is that after 60, the body becomes much less forgiving. A habit that caused a little damage at 40 can cause much more damage at 70. So the real problem is often not age alone, it is age plus the wrong environment.
That is such an important idea because it means the body is not simply failing for no reason. It is reacting.
Exactly. The body is always reacting. Human beings evolved for a world of regular movement, real food, social connection, useful work, and deep recovery at night. Modern life often gives us the opposite: too much sitting, too little strength, too much processed food, poor sleep, too much isolation and stress. When that mismatch goes on for years, the body starts adapting in ways that shorten health and sometimes shorten life.
So when a person says, I am slowing down because I am getting older, the hidden question might be, or am I slowing down because my daily life is teaching my body to decline?
That is right. And I think that question can bring relief. Because if the body is responding, then at least part of the story can change. Not all of it. I do not believe in false promises. But a great deal of what people call normal aging is actually the result of habits that became dangerous over time.
Let us go there. Let us talk about the first habit. What is one of the biggest things that turns deadly after 60?
Living too still, too much sitting, too much lying down, too much time without breaking it up. This is one of the most underestimated dangers of modern aging.
People hear that and think, sitting cannot be that serious. It sounds almost too simple.
That is why it is so dangerous. It feels harmless. Sitting does not usually hurt in the moment, but the body reads long stillness as a signal. It says, we do not need much muscle. We do not need fast blood sugar control. We do not need strong circulation. Over time, the body starts trimming those systems back.
So a chair is not just a chair. It becomes a message.
Yes, and after 60, the body hears that message more loudly. Muscle loss speeds up. Balance gets worse. Blood sugar stays high longer after meals. The risk of frailty, falls, heart problems, and loss of independence starts rising. Many people think one walk in the morning solves the problem. A morning walk is wonderful, but it does not erase a whole day of stillness.
That part really matters because a lot of people do try. They say, I did my exercise. Then the rest of the day disappears into the couch, the car, the chair, and the television.
Exactly. Humans did not evolve for one short session of movement and then complete stillness. We evolved to move on and off throughout the day, to stand, carry, bend, walk, reach, climb, and change position over and over. The body expects regular reminders that it is still needed.
I keep thinking about a man who retires at 65. He says he finally earned the right to rest. He reads for hours, watches television, drives everywhere, and sits after every meal. He thinks he is being safe. He thinks he is protecting himself. But little by little his legs weaken, his posture changes, and stairs start feeling like a mountain.
That story is painfully common. Rest is important, but too much rest becomes underuse. And underuse is one of the hidden engines of decline. The body begins to say, this person does not need much capacity anymore, so it lets capacity go.
If someone listening feels exposed right now, what is the first gentle fix?
Break the stillness, stand up often, walk around the house, carry something, stretch your legs. Do not sit through every commercial. Do not stay in one position for hours if you can help it. Even very short breaks matter, especially after meals. A simple walk after dinner can help the body handle sugar better and keep the system more alive.
I love that because it sounds human, not extreme, not punishing, just alive.
That is the goal, not punishment, signals.
And that leads us into another habit that sounds safe but can quietly destroy a person after 60, avoiding effort.
Yes, that is a huge one. People start treating effort like the enemy. They avoid lifting, avoid climbing, avoid getting down to the floor, avoid carrying, avoid any movement that feels like work. But the body needs effort. especially aging bodies.
I think this may surprise people because they have heard all their life, take it easy, slow down, do not overdo it.
Sometimes that advice is useful in a narrow situation, but in general, the body follows a simple law: use it or lose it. If muscles are not challenged, the body assumes they are too expensive to keep. Muscle starts shrinking, strength starts fading, balance starts slipping, and once that starts, the whole person feels less sure of life.
This is where I think many listeners need to hear something clearly. Muscle is not just about looking strong. It is about surviving.
Very much so. Muscle helps you stand up from a chair, catch yourself when you trip, climb stairs, carry groceries, recover from illness, and stay independent. Muscle also helps control blood sugar. It is not decoration, it is protective tissue. Losing it after 60 can change everything.
There is something emotional here too. A person stops feeling strong, then they stop trusting their body, then they move even less, then they get weaker. It becomes a loop.
It does. Fear creates stillness. Stillness creates weakness. Weakness creates more fear. That is why even simple strength work can become a turning point. It is not just about the legs or arms. It is about sending the mind and body a new message. I am still capable. I am still here. I still need these muscles.
Give us some examples that do not sound like a gym advertisement.
Sit down and stand up from a sturdy chair several times. Do wall push-ups, use a resistance band, carry bags carefully, rise onto your toes while holding the kitchen counter. Practice standing on one leg with support nearby. Walk uphill if it is safe. These are ordinary acts, but biologically they are powerful. They tell muscles and bones to stay engaged.
And if someone is thinking, I am too old to begin now,
Most people do not realize how adaptable the body remains. No, you will not become 25 again. That is not the point. But people in their 60s and 70s can still become stronger, steadier, and more capable. The body does not need youth to respond. It needs a reason.
that sentence is beautiful. The body needs a reason. I think a lot of older people have never heard their body described with that much hope.
Hope matters, but it must be honest hope. The body is not infinitely flexible, but it is far more responsive than many people think. If you give it the right signals, it often answers.
Now let us move to the kitchen, because I think this is where many people get confused. They eat less than they used to, but they still feel weaker, softer, more inflamed, more tired. What is going wrong?
A lot of people after 60 eat in a way that leaves them both overfed and undernourished. They get plenty of easy calories from processed food, but not enough protein, fiber, and real nourishment. That combination is dangerous.
Overfed and undernourished. That is such a sharp way to say it.
Because it is exactly what happens. Someone may eat toast, sweet cereal, crackers, cookies, soft snacks, packaged foods, and little bits of whatever is convenient. They may not overeat in a dramatic way, but the body is not getting enough of what keeps muscle, blood sugar, and energy stable.
And this gets worse after 60 because the body handles food differently.
Yes, muscles become less responsive, blood sugar can rise more easily, recovery slows, appetite may change. So real food becomes even more important, not less. Protein matters more, fiber matters more, food quality matters more.
When you say protein, I do not want people to imagine bodybuilders or giant shakes. What does that mean in normal life?
It means eggs, yogurt, beans, lentils, fish, chicken, tofu, cottage cheese, nuts, and other real foods that help the body maintain tissue. It also helps to spread protein through the day instead of having very little until dinner. The body responds better when it gets repeated signals.
I think so many older adults fall into this quiet pattern where breakfast is mostly sugar, lunch is light and weak, and dinner is small because they do not feel hungry. They say, I do not eat much anymore. But what they really mean is, I do not feed my body what it needs anymore.
That is true, and it is often not their fault. Grief, dental issues, low energy, living alone, low income, depression, and habit all play a role. So I never want this conversation to sound judgmental. It should sound supportive. The solution is not perfect eating. The solution is more real food, more often, in forms people can actually manage.
There is also the processed food trap, food that feels light, easy, modern, and almost innocent.
Yes, ultra-processed food is designed to be easy to eat and easy to overeat. It often raises blood sugar quickly and does not satisfy the body well. That can drive inflammation, weight gain, poor energy, and worse metabolic health. Again, this is not about one cookie or one snack. It is about a pattern that slowly becomes the person's whole diet.
Let me paint a picture. A widow loses interest in cooking. Dinner becomes tea and toast. Then maybe a muffin. Then cereal. Then a few crackers. She is not having a big feast. Yet month by month she gets weaker, colder, and more fragile. Her family thinks she is just getting old, but her body is quietly running out of building material.
That is a very real story. And small changes can help. Add yogurt, add eggs, add soup with beans, add soft fish, soft vegetables, lentils, or easy prepared foods with actual nourishment. The answer does not need to be fancy. It needs to tell the body, we are still maintaining this person.
That phrase again, maintaining this person, that is exactly what people want. Not a miracle. Maintenance. Real support.
Yes, aging well is often less about chasing something magical and more about refusing to let the basics disappear.
Now we have to talk about sleep, because this is one of those issues that people whisper about. They say, I am tired all the time. I wake up 4 times a night. I sleep late and still feel bad. I nap because I am exhausted. Then they shrug and say, that is life now.
Poor sleep becomes very dangerous after 60 when people stop respecting it. Sleep is not wasted time, it is repair time. During healthy sleep, the brain clears waste, hormones reset, memory is processed, and many parts of the body recover. When sleep is poor night after night, the whole system suffers.
And this is not only about sleeping too little, right?
Correct, it is about quality, rhythm, and what the sleep problem may be signaling. Short sleep can be a problem, broken sleep can be a problem. Sleeping a very long time can sometimes be a sign that other health issues are present. So the message is not simply sleep more, the message is take disturbed sleep seriously.
What makes poor sleep so dangerous in this age group?
It touches everything. It can worsen mood, appetite, blood pressure, blood sugar, memory, and balance. A tired person moves less, eats worse, worries more, and becomes less socially engaged. Sleep problems rarely stay inside the bedroom. They spill into the whole day.
That is why this feels like a chain reaction. A person sleeps badly, so they feel drained. Because they feel drained, they skip the walk. Because they skip the walk, they sit more. Because they sit more, they sleep worse again.
Exactly. That is the hidden loop. And many people try to solve it with habits that make it worse. Alcohol at night, bright screens late at night, very late meals, sleeping at random times, napping too long in the evening, ignoring symptoms like loud snoring or waking up choking, which can point to sleep apnea, meaning breathing trouble during sleep.
I am glad you said that clearly because many people think snoring is just annoying, not serious.
It can be serious, not always, but sometimes, and that is why curiosity matters. If someone wakes exhausted every day, falls asleep sitting up, or has severe snoring and breathing pauses, that deserves real attention. Shame does not help. Curiosity does.
So what are the basic sleep supports that make sense for most people?
Regular wake time, morning light, daytime movement, less bright light late at night. Being careful with alcohol, not eating a huge, heavy meal right before bed, making the room dark and quiet if possible, and getting checked if there are signs of a true sleep disorder. Again, we do not need perfection. We need respect for recovery.
The last habit may be the one that feels the most invisible because it does not live in a chair or on a plate. It lives in a person's life. Their world gets smaller, their conversations get fewer, their stress becomes constant, their sense of being needed starts fading.
Yes, isolation and chronic stress are deeply harmful after 60. Human beings are social creatures. We evolved in groups. When people become cut off, the body often interprets that as danger. Stress systems stay active, sleep worsens, inflammation rises, mood drops, movement drops, appetite changes. The loss touches the whole person.
This one hurts because so many people do not choose it. Life brings it to them. Retirement, widowhood, friends dying, children living far away, less driving, pain, fear of going out. Then slowly they disappear from the world.
That is why this topic requires compassion. Loneliness is not weakness. Isolation is not failure. But it is still biologically costly. People can feel its effect in their bones, their sleep, their motivation, even their immune system. The body is not built to thrive in prolonged disconnection.
I have seen older adults come alive again the moment they have a reason to leave the house, a person expecting them, or a small role that matters.
That makes perfect sense. Purpose is a biological signal too: a garden, a walking partner, a volunteer role, a grandchild, a weekly class, a neighbor's dog, a regular phone call. These things may look small from the outside. Inside the body, they can change the whole day.
I want to say something that I think many listeners will feel in a personal way. Sometimes the problem is not just that the body got weaker. Sometimes the soul got quieter.
I think that is beautifully said. And the body listens to that quiet too. When life loses shape, movement loses shape, meals lose shape, sleep loses shape. Health is not just chemistry, it is also pattern, meaning, and connection.
So these 5 habits do not stay in separate boxes. They travel together. Sitting more leads to weakness. Weakness leads to fear. Fear leads to isolation. Isolation leads to poor sleep. Poor sleep leads to worse food choices. And then the person says, I do not know what happened to me.
Yes, that is the hidden reason decline can feel so sudden even when it was built slowly. But there is hopeful news in that same idea. Recovery can spread too. One walk after dinner can help sleep. Better sleep can improve mood. Better mood can make connection easier. Strength work can reduce fear. Connection can reduce stress. The body works as a network in both directions.
That is one of the most hopeful things I have heard in a long time. Recovery can spread too.
It can. That is why I always tell people, do not try to change everything at once. Pick one habit that is asking your body to shrink. Start there. Make it gentle. Make it repeatable. Let success build.
Give me one closing message for the person listening who feels scared by this whole conversation.
I would say this: your body is not your enemy. It is responding to the life around it. After 60, those responses become stronger, not weaker. That is why harmful habits can turn deadly. But it is also why helpful habits can still matter so much. Move more often, use your strength, eat real food, protect sleep, stay connected. You do not need to become perfect. You need to give your body better instructions.
That is such a powerful way to end. Better instructions, not panic, not shame. Better instructions. Dr. Daniel Lieberman, thank you for this. You made a frightening topic feel honest, deeply human, and full of practical hope.
Thank you, James. It was a pleasure.
And to everyone listening, if this conversation hit close to home, do not let that feeling pass. Use it. Ask yourself tonight, what is the one habit in my life that is quietly teaching my body to decline? Then change just that first. One walk, one stronger meal, one earlier night, one phone call, one moment of effort. Your future body is listening. If this episode gave you clarity, share it with someone you love, and stay with us here on Dr. Daniel Podcast for more conversations that help you age with strength, dignity, and hope. Thanks for spending time with us.